Hi, this is Jill from Fabric Garden, and today I wanted to talk to you about pre-washing your fabric before making your quilt. There's always a debate about whether should you wash your fabric first or not wash your fabric first, and really it's personal preference. Personally, I rarely pre-wash my fabric. I love how the fabric feels when it's still got a little bit of sizing in it, and the higher quality quilting fabrics really don't have a whole lot of shrink in them. So once your quilt is quilted and you wash it, you'll get a little tiny bit of shrink, and that'll make your quilting pop and you'll love it. There are a few exceptions to that. If someone gave me some fabric and I don't know where it came from or what the quality of that fabric is, I would give it a pre-wash. If I were making a quilt that had some highly saturated colors in it that I was combining with light backgrounds, I would pre-wash so that I wouldn't risk those highly saturated colors bleeding when I later wash the quilt. In that case, I would probably also treat my fabrics with a product like Retain that will help the fabric hold the dye so that it will not bleed later. Now, it's okay to pre-wash, and it really is. If you're going to pre-wash, a couple things to remember. You may want to buy a little bit of extra fabric because it will shrink a little bit. So you want to make sure you don't run short. The other thing is, once you've dried it, you really need to give it a good press. And I like to use some sort of sizing, Mary Ellen breast press, magic sizing, to put some crispness back in the fabric so that when you cut, you'll get nice, straight, accurate cuts. If you just give it a quick press and cut after you've washed it, the fabric's very soft and you may not get as accurate of cutting. The one thing you should never pre-wash are pre-cuts. Those layer cakes, jelly rolls, charm packs, mini charms. It would just be a mess. And a lot of the patterns you need the entire pre-cut. If it shrinks, you're out of luck. So no pre-washing your pre-cuts. Since I don't pre-wash my fabrics, when it is time to wash my quilt, I like to use cold water, and I might throw in a color catcher or 2 or 3 just to catch any excess dyes that might come out of the quilt. The quilt behind me has a bright red sashing with a very light yellow background, and I have washed this quilt several times and used dye catchers and did not have any bleeding of the red fabric. So whichever way you choose to go, just make sure that you follow some good rules so that you have a good outcome for your quilt. And if you have any additional questions, you can always call us at Fabric Garden, 916-483-2955. Thanks. Have a great night.